Good morning, everybody. Today we have with us Mr. B.S. Mathur, our ex-director from IMS, and he has been a stalwart in the marine engineering field in Goa, and he's been totally supporting to the role IMS plays to train marine engineers. So, welcome, sir. So,
Thank you.
what do you feel were your ideas when you joined IMS in 1999?
Yes, to start with, greetings to you and all everybody at IMS. It is nice to know that we are entering into 25th year. Uh, yes, when I uh, joined IMS in 1999, my idea was very firm and very focused. That before that also the boys, when I was chief engineer on Swati Rani, these IMS boys used to come there for training, and at that stage also I felt that it's time for me to pay back for what I have learned and I have earned and my career for so many years. So I was absolutely delighted when I got the chance to join this, because I thought that yes, there is a lot I can contribute towards the training of marine engineers in India. So that's how that was my feelings. Uh, and I have been involved with IMS for more than 15 years out of these 25 years. So, and I hope that I'll continue in some way, directly or indirectly, my involvement with IMS, because I felt that IMS has become my baby. And I always feel that whatever, so long as I'm physically okay to perform, to give, to train the boys, I will do. That's the aim of my life at the moment. Whatever I can do, we should do, and that's what I feel all marine engineers should do. Whatever they can. So my feeling that time, as I told you, was very nice, and I joined as deputy director, and I was well guided by Mr. Tamekar, who was the director at that time. And that 1 year under him, well, taught me a lot of things, how to go about it, because it is different when you are sailing on the ships, but to get down in the training department in an office job, and how do you go about, was something which I learned from Mr. Tambekar. That's how I felt at that time.
So, after you took over as a director, what would be the challenges which you thought would be there for IMS?
See, I've done 4 years in DMET, and I knew that what were the shortcomings in DMET, which I wanted to remove from here when I joined IMS. I was very clear in my mind. Certain things, when in my 4 years in DMET, we didn't like, or they were not good for conducive for good training. But then those times were different. Demands were so much in shipping for ship staff, and we used to, for example, like we used to go to workshop, and we had no one to train us in the workshop. We were left at the mercy of the shop foreman or whichever workshop we were in, which was something which, if we were not interested, then nobody was interested in us in the workshop. We just spent our time. But that was one very important thing which I learned, and I was very clear that I'm going to put that system here, so that the cadets, they are not left on their own when they go for training, outdoor training, wherever ships they go, workshops they go, wherever they go. That was one of the most important thing which came to my mind. other things were there, many other things were there, like uh, how the other challenges which we had to face was that engineering students who have done BE and they are here only for 1 year, there was a absolute important thing for them to unlearn, because as a BE engineering, whichever college they have done from, they did very little practicals, and they had a mindset of becoming an officer and doing some office job and things like this, and no hands-on this thing. So that it's okay when you are joining a 4-year course. So at that time, from 12th standard onward, there is enough time to mold you into doing a hands-on job. But for a graduate engineer in 1 year, it took a long time first to change his mindset, because they always thought that they'll become some big engineer and they will have an office to sit, air conditioned office to sit and nothing to do, and they will only give orders. So that was the difference which they didn't know. They thought just like any other engineering, marine engineering is something like that. So that was apart from the technical training and all that. This was something which was very, very important and took a long time. And we realized this, that the BE boys used to ask this, that do I have to do this, go under the floor plate? Is it my job? Or I will get some assistants to do this. So that mindset took long time to change. So that was one part which was a big challenge. The second part, which was very big challenge, was the discipline. See, in India, it's only up to schools when there are certain disciplines in dressing, in reaching in time, and all these things. Once the boys go to college, there is, all these things are let go. It doesn't matter how you dress. It doesn't matter when you reach. It doesn't matter if you miss one class. It doesn't matter, things like this, you are on your own. But those things they learned, and always they used to ask, afterward they will ask, why there is a falling? What is there if I don't wear uniform? If I come in a t-shirt, do I become a bad student if I come in a t-shirt? Or I learn less if I come with a t-shirt in a class? And why I must have fallen before meals or this? So those kind of things that had to be told to them very clearly. The life in Merchant Navy, life on the ships, apart from your job, the discipline part is very, very important. Only then you will become a good seafarer. To become a good marine engineer is one. To become a good seafarer is equally important. So that is what thought was in my mind, and that was another very big challenge.
Sir, I know that you have been traveling to Mumbai at those times to get the placements. So how was your interaction with the shipping company?
See, it is like this. What has happened is that that our first batch was taken, full batch was taken by Shipping Corporation. So the first batch which passed out, no other shipping company was even aware of anything of IMS. We did call one or two companies. I remember I was not at that time directly involved here, but I am aware that one or two more shipping companies had come. But since Shipping Corporation took everybody, those companies were little disappointed that why were they called when no student came there and no cadet came there. So it was a Herculean task from second batch onwards, where the Shipping Corporation had given us an offer to IMS that they will henceforth all the batches they will take, and they will get actively involved in the training. But our management, which very wisely refused this offer, because as they say, we didn't want to put all the eggs in one basket. So, and it was a very wise decision, and because of that, we second batch onwards, it became a big problem. Nobody knew about IMS, and I had to go up and down in Nariman Point in various shipping companies to find jobs for them. And I can tell you one incident where when I went to V-Ships office, there that time engineer, I think Mr. Rajiv Malhotra was in charge. When I met him, he told me they are taking from that time, other institute was DMET. And they said we are taking from DMET for so many years, and now how do we change over? And we are quite satisfied with them or whatever it is. So I only told him that you don't take, but you just interview. When are you interviewing DMET boys? So he told me some date. So I told him, okay, on that same day, if I have your permission, I'll send you some 4 or 5 boys. You interview them also, same standard what you interviewed DMET boys. And then you don't take. I'm not telling you to commit anything, but don't take, but just so that you will know the standard. So he agreed, and he said, okay, send your boys on such and such date. And when on that date I was in Goa, the boys had gone to Bombay and interviewed by him. And after the interview, he is phoning me and telling me, can you send 4 more? So I said, you were not supposed to take these, you were supposed to check. He said, no, I didn't realize they are so good. So I will take these 4, and can you send me some more? If now, not now, maybe from next year. And that's how things started. We were very confident of our training. Only thing was how to convince the shipping companies, because they had a system set up already, they were taking from somewhere. So to break that system was not so easy for them also, I agree. But then slowly it spread. It was a big challenge, yes. We did have problems of placement in second batch and maybe little bit on third batch, but after that there was no issues. We were very sure our training is good.
In the years which went back, when we started increasing the number of students in IMS, so you must have realized that the placement challenges would be more increased. So how you think that decision was?
See, it is like this. When let me just go back a little bit. When we started IMS, we were totally dependent on ISBT. We had nothing of our own, not even an office. So Mr. Tambekar, our brief, initially used to sit in some room in ISBT, and we were using all ISBT facilities, workshops and laboratories and workshops and everything. But then naturally the first preference was for ISBT boys. So our training was suffering, which I did realize that we were given slots only when ISBT, those things were free, when they were not doing. So sometimes it doesn't suit our timetable. So why I am saying this is that I was absolutely sure in my mind that we need to build our own facilities. So that was the first step which I took to make sure that we build our own. First thing, we built hostel, because they had made it compulsory, and also we wanted, for better discipline, we should have our own hostel. The boys were staying outside here and there. We had no control over them after 5 o'clock. And sometimes we used to meet them only on Saturdays, because from workshop they used to go directly from their centers, they used to go directly to their place of wherever they are staying. So that was a challenge. We built the hostel on our own, and we had no money. And I remember our chairman at that time, Mr. Ashok Chogle, I was talking to him and telling him that we need to have our own, otherwise training is suffering. We have slowly putting our foothold in the shipping companies, but this is not good enough, because we have to have our own facilities. so that we can train in our own terms and our own timetable, not timetable based on ISBT's timetable. So he told me very clearly, so what you are waiting for? So I said, sir, we have no money. He said, that's not your job. That is not your problem. That is our problem. If you think training is suffering, go ahead tomorrow and call the people concerned. This is the area, build a workshop, start building. And that encouragement, when you get that kind of encouragement, when you get from management, it becomes very clear to you that what management wants, because we knew this. For management, this is not a business venture. This is not a business venture like other institutes where they are set up as a business venture. So the owner wants to make money, so he sets up an institute, and here there was no such thing. Nobody wanted money. So the goal was very clear and everybody was very focused what we want. So that was another advantage I had during my 15 years here, that management backed me to the full. And he says, you don't worry about money, that is for us to see. You start. And next day onwards, we called the architect and this and builder and everything. And within no time, we built our own workshop. Then we added another workshop, then added another hostel block and things like that. It went on. So that was something which helped us in upgrading our training facilities, and it resulted in better and better trained boys. The shipping companies, when we were expanding, it became other way around. I remember those speeches when we used to call the chief guest of, I remember V Ships again, Captain Tandon came, and he used to ask me every time, can you give me 10 more? Can you give me 20 more? And I used to refuse because we had very limited capacity, 40 GMEs only. And then we started DME in year 2000. But he and the DG shipping office also other way around, where the shipping company used to go and beg them to increase. It was other way around when DG shipping was asking us to increase our capacity. But I had told both of them very clearly, till I expand my facilities, we will not do this, because this is not business for us. Because if in the same facilities what I have is for 40 boys, if I increase 60, the training will suffer. So let me first increase my facilities, then we will increase the number of the seats. And that is how it went on. So there was absolutely no problem of placements. Even when we started with 20, then we made 40, then we made 60, then we made 80, then we made 20 GMEs, then we made 40 DMEs. So everything was nice because the companies had put their faith in us and they were performing well. Another reason for that was also that we had included ship owners in our governing council. So right from beginning, we were sure that we will not stick only to the syllabus. Syllabus is made by government, IMO, through IMO or whatever it is. But what ship owners want may be slightly more than what is in the syllabus. So we used to get very nice feedbacks from the ship owners, shipping company representatives in the governing council, and that we were doing more than what is required in the syllabus, and that helped us in placements also.
I think that's one of the most important aspect which you had looked at as placements, and good quality engineers are being produced here. So that makes us quite different than most of the other institutes. What do you feel about that?
See, as I said that what makes us different from other institutes was, first thing, as I mentioned, it was that we were not for making profits. I know, I don't want to name any institute, but I know that many institutes had their fixed, that the owner says, first out of this you give me so much, and whatever is the balance you run the training course. Now it was not like this. In fact, I can tell you that when we initially, our managing committee meetings, the budgets and all were sent. And if I used to show that we have saving of 40 lakhs or this year we have saved 40 lakhs, I initially thought they will feel happy about it, but they didn't. They told me, what are you doing with these 40 lakhs? We don't want. Kindly expand your this thing, upgrade your facilities. Why are we keeping 40 lakhs in the bank? See, these kind of things when you get, it was very easy for me to perform. Because it became very clear to me that it is not good thing for me to tell them that I have 40 lakhs, but the staff has no computers. There is we need to buy a lot of equipment to upgrade the thing, training facilities. So it was made very clear to me. We don't want, you keep what you want for safety. So some money you keep for some safety emergency use. Apart from that, no. Upgrade, spend money. Don't save. Now that is something which set us apart from the other institutes. See, another thing which I feel IMS stands apart from other institutes to the best of my knowledge. We also believe in imparting soft skills to our cadets. It's not only about just learning about marine engineering knowledge. A confidence in a boy, in a person comes only when he feels comfortable in various environments. Nowadays on a ship we have people, the ship staff of various nationalities. He should not have that inferiority complex, because that, that comes very easily to us. If we see any, different nationality, we think he's superior to us and things like this. He should feel comfortable in his social life also. Like we believe that he has to learn table manners and etiquette, so that when he's sitting with these people, he is not uncomfortable. It's okay, like in India, we do, sort of at home we eat whichever way with our hands and whatever it is. Nothing wrong in it. But in international atmosphere environment, he has to know the table manners. He has to know how to eat various things with knife and fork and things like this. It is not that eating with hand is something wrong or bad. No, but in international this thing, it is important. It gives a confidence. Also, he should know how he should behave, talk, maintain himself with confidence in front of anybody, whichever nationality he may be. So those things, debates, like we do a lot of debates, so that he is free to talk. If we find some boys are a little weak in English, so we do special training for them, so that he learns to speak flawlessly. Things like this, which I don't think it is there in any institute, to the best of my knowledge. So that confidence building is very important. I have seen during my interviews when I used to interact with ship owners, they all had different criteria for selection. Some didn't bother that how well he has done in his exams and all, but they were more bothered about his personality. How did he enter the room? Did he carry himself well, or was he nervous, and things like this. So that is interview time, yes, but then we noticed these things, that then it was our job to train them, to make sure that they learned all this during their training. So it was a very tight schedule for us, 1 year for GME, 2 years for diploma, and to include all this also along with our normal training. So that is what I feel that sets our IMS apart from many others, and I have got this feedback from shipping companies that when your IMS boys enters our office, we know he's come from IMS. How well he behaves, how he comes, how he greets everybody, how he talks, we know that he's from IMS. So that makes me very proud that yes, that was one step which was required.
That's a very right point, which management always feels about IMS, that we need to make it as a more on practical training, spend more money so that the student is well versed, or we can educate him more better. So that's where our motto even says knowledge, competence, and discipline. Three
Yes.
things. So what do you think, sir, from now onwards with this kind of pandemic and the process which is going on? How do you think IMS should focus themselves?
See, one thing I know for sure, if you maintain quality, see, when there is a lot of demand, I have seen in my career, sea life, ups and downs. The curve is a sine curve. Sometimes there is a lot of demand, sometimes there is no demand. Now, when there is a lot of demand, everything sells. Whether your people are good or not, so long as they have managed to get some certificate and they pass, everybody got a job. I have sailed I have seen those times when a 15-year just finished his training DMET, he was given exemption by DG Shipping, and he straight away sailed as 4th engineer. He went as 3rd engineer because there was so much requirement. People with second class ticket were given exemption to sail as chief engineers because there was so much demand. And also I have seen those times when there was, everything was full, so people with chief's ticket were sailing as 3rd engineers. So ultimately, I feel what matters here is if you upgrade your knowledge, maintain the quality. Yes, that time out of 100 we could place 120. But today, maybe out of 100, if you maintain our quality, you will still be able to place. And I am sure that today, okay, it may not be immediate 100 out of 100 placement or 100% placement, but I am sure we are still doing better than many institutes. Where companies are still coming to us, of course, you are making a lot of efforts. I agree. Yes, same way which I made efforts in the beginning. Now that baton is handed over to you, you are doing same thing and you are succeeding because maintain the quality, high quality. The company is convinced that if I take from IMS boys, I will be very happy and safe. My ships will be, senior engineers will be happy to get those juniors like this. Why you will not get? I know this pandemic has affected a lot of things. The problem is, what has happened is, the problem is of signing on facilities. When I talk to like my son who is in also manager in K Lines, I asked him very open, is your trade suffered? That has any of your ships been laid out or idle without cargo? He said, no, not even a single. But what has happened is that why those who were doing 3 months, 4 months, 6 months contracts are now going 8, 9 because we can't sign them off. They can't sign off here, they can't travel, they can't this, they. So that was the main problem which has slowed down the intake of the. And that's what I understand. That's what he told me. None of the companies, very few maybe, have laid down their ships. It is just that they are in this with different countries having different rules. You can't sign off, you can't sign on. The people are doing one year now. I know of people who have come out signed off instead of 4 months contract, they have done 12 months. So how will any replacement, how will the company send a replacement for them? So that is the main problem. I think we'll get over it if we remain focused on our quality. Then let the quality not suffer. I am sure IMS is in good hands. It will not suffer. And we will continue doing, like we had only 4 or 5 companies. I understand now you have so many ship owners who are willing to take boys from IMS. So maybe there are phases. Sometimes it is very easy, sometimes little more effort is required. That's all.
That's nice, sir. It is nice that your blessings are always with IMS and your heart is always with IMS. Thank you very much, sir, for being a part of IMS and continuing to be a part of us. And for today's interview, thank you for your speech.
It's my pleasure to be here, and I will continue as long as I can, whether it's online classes or in any other way, whichever way, whether I keep on telling the boys that don't worry about only technical things. You can even, I can be your guide and mentor for many other questions you may have. So that kind of a thing is there. I am always there. I am gone out of IMS, but IMS has not gone out of me. So it is still there inside here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for this pleasure you have given me to come here and
It's our pleasure
Speak
to,
on.
sir. Thank you.
thank you.